Oh, Lord. All right, well, I am still getting my act together here, but hopefully someone's hearing me. I will hop into the chat myself here in just a second, make sure that I can see the chat. Make sure y'all are seeing this. Make sure it's not upside down. All right. Hey, Garrett. Good. I'm glad that I can be heard. I wish I could fix this camera angle a little bit, but I think for now that's what we're working with. I just don't see a better way with what I have going right now. But that's all right. While I'm figuring this stuff out, I'll chit chat. All right, good. I'm glad that looks like a good angle for you, Garrett. Hey, Carol. All right, let me get my seat here. So, for those interested, all right, we can see the automa. Not very well. I'll lift cards up when it's time to get to it, but you know, I'm thinking I'm probably just going to go ahead and proceed. I already have this set up for a solo game of Expeditions. And basically what that entails is you're setting up your own little player mat here, your mech mat, you got your character, and you got your 4 stars, your power, and your guile tokens are on 0. Now, I have the mech Tatanka, and Tatanka has the ability that I can solve, upgrade, and meld up to 5 times each. Normally that's 4 times each, but Tatanka has a little bit extra in the tank there. So he's a big boy. I guess that looks like it. And looks like my tiles got shuffled a little bit. While I was getting ready, I dropped my phone and my battery right on top of it. So that's awesome. But yeah, so as it relates to the solo setup, you're going to... Every game you'll have this automa glory, and that just keeps track of how much glory the automa has. The automa can go up to 8 glory, and then it's game over, last turn. So we are only navigating with 4. One thing to note about the automa is that they can collect these map tokens, and we've also been able to... they're going to collect these map tokens much more easily than I am. They're much quicker at it, and also they are going to collect corruption tokens easier than I will. However, one thing I've noticed in my plays so far is the black mech here is going to start collecting it earlier than the blue mech typically. So let's go ahead and get started. I chose level 2 since that is the level to start with and see, and thank you for the good luck, Carol. I don't know if I've been able to maximize this one yet, Tatanka, but as long as I'm moving faster than the automa, I think I'm all right. So the automa here, we're going to give the deck a shuffle, and then we're going to take 2 cards off, and that's just so if you have photographic memory, not a concern with me, but if you do, then you won't know there's 2 cards missing, so you don't have perfect information. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to start because I choose to. I bought, I didn't say I bought the game, but it's my game, not the automa's. So, now that I have a little bit of an angle on this, I dropped my phone. I guess there is a mark. Oh, well. This will forever be mine, and I'll remember it was my attempt at live streaming. But, yeah, let's see here. So, for my first turn, I have Matthew, and Matthew is going to gain me a yellow worker or solve a quest, and so I'll just raise that up a little bit, and hopefully that comes in clear, and I'm on quite a delay, so let's make sure I'm actually getting it on camera. Yeah, that wasn't much help to you at all. All right, so that focused. And then I got Caesar here as my companion. And this is my opportunity to vanquish or move to another location adjacent. So sometimes that helps you get a move action in when you otherwise wouldn't. And let's go ahead and get started here. Matthew has the opportunity, if you play him, you can gain a yellow worker, but you need a green worker first. So that's going to be my first move. I'm going to use my token here. I get to move, play, and gather. So I moved onto this first tile here, and I'm going to gather a green worker. And then I'm going to play Matthew. And when I do that, I'm going to move him from my hand, which is over here in this area, and I'm going to place him over here. Now I get the core benefit of Matthew, which is a power. And if I had already some boast stars out, I would have a couple extra power. Hey, Marty. Nice to see you. So Garrett, I just looked over at Garrett's name. Garrett is not a character in the game just yet, but who knows what the future will bring us. So I'm going to go ahead and, because I played Matthew, I'm going to go ahead and trigger that green worker ability to, I don't have a quest to solve, so I'm going to go ahead and gain my yellow worker. And that goes right onto my mat. And so I have moved, I have played, and I have gathered. So that's the end of my turn. We're going to go ahead and play the automa's turn. I won't always show you these cards. I'll just kind of describe what they are and what they do, but you can get a little idea of what those look like right there. And basically what this one says is if the automa, the blue mech, if the automa has 3 glory stars, it's going to collect 2 corruption, or it's just going to move right 2. And so that's what we're going to do. 1, 2. That goes right there. Now, because it is the automa, it only will flip over one of those tiles if you have a map token on your card. So that was the complete for the blue. The black mech here has just 1 movement, so we'll move this over right here. And that was the mech's turn. You saw an entire automa turn right there. Super easy to run there. And so now I have a decision to make. I want to get some cards in my hand, and so I'm going to go ahead and let's see if there's any good face-up cards that might be a help. Okay, so there's an early quest, and it also takes a red worker, which I can get. So I'm going to go ahead and, for my turn, I'm going to move and gather. I'm going to move here. And what this icon does on the airship wreckage is allows me to take any face-up card. I'm going to take this one, which is hack through vines to find a hidden interest. That is an entrance. That's a quest for location 6, which is one of these starter ones in the south. And it's a low cost of just 1 power, and I would gain a face down card from the deck if I take care of that one. So I'm going to take that. When I take a card from there, I go ahead and play it into my active row and immediately replace the card here. And we got a Brave Stone. So we got a meteorite, an item, a quest, and a meteorite. And yeah, I agree, Carol. The automa is really easy to manage, and that's a great thing. So let's go ahead and look at card 2. This one has a little bit of new iconography. You can see in this card here, there's a blue cube at the very top. And what that means is that the automa's progress is going to progress on this track. So we have an area here that's called start. We're going to move that 1 to the right. And you can see, or maybe you can, I don't know how the quality is there, but this very next progress is going to give them their first boast star. Now, not a huge deal. Remember, they need to get 8, but that does show you the clock is ticking right away. Now, they don't have any glory yet, so we're basically just moving. And that blue mech is going to move 3. And this black mech is, again, they don't have any glory yet, so they're not going to take any corruption. And they're going to just move 1 to the left. So they haven't really played spoiler for me yet, thank goodness. So let's see what I have here. I'm going to go ahead and move and play. And I'm going to move to this spot because I'm worried about this mech starting to gather these tokens. So I'm going to take my first map token right there. I'm going to flip this over. with my move action, and oh, a glory opportunity right off the bat. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and draw tiles. Now this one in the center, all of these are 5+ corruption tokens. So the first one we put out is a 3. We got to draw another one. And the second, all right, good. I'm glad the narration is working. That's another 3. So this is a very power centric one. And that was my move. Now I'm going to play a card. And I don't have enough power to vanquish. But when I play Caesar, I'm going to play Caesar right here. He's good for a Guile. And I can't get any of those bonuses just yet. However, he's got a spot here for a yellow worker, which I just got from Matthew. So that's good for the working together. So I'm going to go ahead and take this yellow, place it right here. My options for Caesar, just in case you're curious, it says move to an adjacent location or vanquish. If this vanquish removes the location's final corruption, you may gain the revealed benefit, which in this case, if I had cleared this power, I'd get to boast about it if I had anything to boast about, which is how you get the stars here on this mat. It's not just automatic as you complete it. So here's what I'm going to do with that. Because Caesar lets me move to another location, I'm going to take advantage of getting another map token. So I'm going to go right here, moving to this location, taking that map right there. And the reason I moved left instead of right, the reason I moved in this direction here is because I know this mech is coming this way. If he's gonna take any tokens, he's taking these ones first. So I'm just trying to be a little ahead of him. So that movement revealed another tile. And then I'm gonna go ahead and draw some corruption. This is another 5+, so that's a 3, needs another one. And that's a 5. The 5s are the largest corruption token in the bag. So if it says 5+, you're always going to be drawing 2. Typically in this middle row, you're going to be drawing 2. But, you know, if you draw a couple of 2s out of the bag, which are the lowest, then, you know, you might have an opportunity to get 3 here. But at the end of the game, each one of these corruption that you've cleared from the board is worth 2 gold and with or coins. And 2 coins are helpful considering there's not a whole lot of money being thrown at you in this game. So that was my turn. I moved and I played, and now it is time for the automa's turn. And this is iconography you've seen before. We are moving the progress for the automa, which is going to take this very first glory star, and we just move it over here to the home base. Everything from the automa goes to the home base, and so they have 1 glory star. That just helps you at a glance know exactly how many are showing. So we progress that. There are some icons that we'll see on another card, I'm sure, but this one right here says if you have 4 glory, then gain corruption, gather corruption, clear it corruption, whatever you want, but they don't have 4 yet, so the blue mech is moving 3. And here is where things get interesting. 1, 2, 3. Now, why is that interesting? Just because in the story of the automa for the solo mode for expeditions is that there are reports of the automa having access to teleport technology. There's portals. They're able to move through these portals. So they go from one side to the other. Some people aren't so sure about the portals, and so they are, you know, just imagining that they have 2 mechs that look exactly alike. So let's see here. All right. Hey, Garrett, congratulations on the new job. I just saw that in the chat there. And to answer your question, does the automa reveal hexes as she moves? No, they don't. The automa has to have a particular token, the map token, on their card next to the right amount of bow stars for them to start revealing those. Otherwise, they would for sure just take those off the board in no time. So that was, I think I only moved the blue, so now we're going to go with the black. And here's another example of how the automa is different. The automa ignores you entirely. So even though this automa is supposed to move 2 to the left, it's going to go 1, 2. It's not going to count you being there at all. Unfortunately, that does not work both ways. You do not get to skip the automa. And, you know, you have to work around it, but it does not have to work around you. So that was the Automa's turn, and I don't have any cards to play, but I could move and gather if I wanted to, which would certainly help me get some map tokens. And I try and take those. This mech, is a mech that really works well with map tokens, and then I love doing this strategy against it. However, in this case, I really only want 5 map tokens or 7 workers, but I am robbing the automa of money, because the level 2 automa, at the end of the game, every map token that they have, which are these right here, every map token that they have is worth 1 coin. Every corruption tile that they have is worth 2 coins. And every boast star they have is worth 4 coins. So you can math it out a little bit and get an idea for what you need to do. But for my turn, I can either move and gather, or I can refresh. I think I'm going to, let's see what these cards are. I am going to move and gather. So I'm going to move here. I want to gather a face-up card. So I'm going to go ahead and take this meteorite, the Bravestone. This one right here, if I meld it, it gains me 1 coin per 4 value corruption, a max of 3 coins. Or my Vanquish, it has, if you use a green worker, so this is a green card, Vanquish will allow me to vanquish, so I don't have to rely strictly on Caesar. Also, if I have 2 meteorites melted, I can gain a power per 4 value corruption when I when I play this card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my active row, and that was my move, that was my gather, and that was my turn. So we're back to the automa, and this time you'll see we do have a little bit of new iconography, but we're going to move the progress forward. I think the very first game I played, I lucked out not all of these having progress tokens, and I did see one, and we still are going through the deck, so I might still be lucky, but I swear I felt like it took a long time for it to move up, which was helpful. They do not have 4 bonus stars yet, or glory stars yet, so no corruption. Instead, they're just going to move 1 to the right. And this is what I meant by, I think the blue doesn't explore quite as much. However, we're going to see our first automa take a map token, and again, I know this is kind of blurry, but hopefully if I get it close enough, it'll be easier to see. And I don't know. Anyway, it says 0 in a map token, so they'd certainly have 0 glory. So within 0 to 3, they're going to take that token. So they don't have to move. They have one right underneath their feet. They're going to go ahead and take this map token, and again, it goes to the home base here. The automa stuff does. I'm going to flip this over, and the automa is sitting there on the research base, and then we got to put some corruption on the board. So this one is again, all the central are the 5 corruption. So 5 plus. So I got a 5 there. But unfortunately, I still got to draw more out of the bag. It's not a plus. All right, so there's a lot of corruption there in terms of what it's going to take to clear it. For me, anyway, the automa is going to be able to clear that easy. So that was the automa's turn, and now it is mine. And I think I'm going to take a refresh turn because I could move, but I don't have any cards to play. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh. These go back to my mat, and these are going to go into my hand, which is open information, and these can be set however you want, but everyone can see what you have in your hand. Let's go ahead, and that was my turn, was refreshing, so now we're going to draw a card for the automa. And we got a new icon again. So first thing we have to do is progress along the track for that blue cube there. And there's, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's a little sweep right there. And I know I have to put a card back there. There's a little sweep. And what this means is that the cards that are next to this blue mech, adjacent to it, are going to get swept up. So this card and this card goes bye-bye. Hopefully I didn't want those. And new cards are going to immediately take their place. We got another quest, 2 new quests, and actually these quests are both for location 3, so that's pretty cool. This one right here, So we did the sweep for the blue mech. They do not have 3 glory yet, so they're not going to take a map token. They are, however, going to move 1 to the right. And now down here, they don't have 4 glory yet, so we're going to go ahead and just move them what the card says, which is 2 to the left, which they use their portal to come back over to this side of the board. And let's see here. Yeah, hi Barney. Got a solo playthrough going on right now. Just kind of talking through it, and we just walked through the automa's turn here, and we are back to my turn, which my last one was a refresh turn, so now I can play all 3 actions, which are a move, a play, and a gather. And I'm always concerned about these map tiles to begin with, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. So I'm going to go ahead and move 1, 2, and the thing of it is too, I couldn't go 2, 3, because as soon as you encounter a tile that doesn't have that hasn't been explored yet, your movement stops. So we have the crater here at the 8 spot, and that is going to my mat. I gotta be careful not to give it to the mech. Okay, let's see here. So we got to get some corruption on the board there and move myself. And so it's going to be 5 corruption, 5 plus corruption. First one's a 3. Next one is a 3. So we got our 5 plus. That goes right there. And so that was my move. And maybe I should have gathered before I moved. However, I didn't know what that spot was going to have, and I would have probably taken advantage. Having that knowledge is, there are some cards that actually let you peek at the tile. I don't know if, Carol, if you've encountered that yet in your game, but it's a meteorite that you can meld to your mech that lets you peek before you flip a card. So I'm going to go ahead, and this action right here is literally no help for me this turn, because the sweep, I can go ahead and clear any of these cards off the board that I want. And I'm going to look real quick and let's see. Now this one actually allows you a boast. So that's actually cool if that doesn't get cleared before someone can take it. This one is... It's a low level quest. I'll keep that one out. The Aid Stone, that's another Vanquish opportunity. So I'll keep that out there, and I'm keeping that for sure. I'll just take that up and refresh that, sweep that away, put it into the sweep pile here, and replace it with another meteorite. This one right here, I wanted to keep it because if I could get it, that's a really nice card to play, in that if you play a blue worker, you can pay 1 guile for 3 power, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's an item card, Carol. I think it's an item card that allows you, that has an ability that lets you peek. So as far as the map tiles go, I've only got the 3. Let's see, which there should be. Okay, there's 4 tiles flipped. All right, I'm doing okay. Thought maybe I missed something, and I'm sure I will, but not now. So I did my move, I did my gather, and I'm going to play a card. You know what I could have done? It's too late now. I'm going to go ahead and deal with it, but I could have played Caesar, got my guile, and I could have played my yellow worker on it. And I don't have enough to vanquish any corruption from there yet, but I could have moved this tile and did the gather here, because Caesar lets you move to an adjacent location, so I'm taking advantage of that ability to scoop up some of these map tokens before the automa can. And I'm going to flip this one over now. And put some in C2 power. I would have taken that over sweeping nothing and refreshing nothing, but hey, that's what happens when you are trying to manage a couple of different things. So we got a 4 here. Another thing I noticed, and it's definitely on purpose, but I don't know if it gets advertised. There's this little number that says 5+ that tells you how much corruption to add to each location is the same color as the ability that's underneath it. So the meld is purple, and so that 5+ is purple, and the attaching an item is blue, and that little 5+ icon on the mech tile or on the location tile is also blue. Glory is yellow, and that's a 5+ right there. So if you can remember that stuff, then you can at a glance, without having to lift the tokens up, know what's underneath those tiles. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the Garrett. I don't remember that mech in my play testing. I was pretty late in the game doing the automa play test, but I don't remember seeing one that lets you peek. That is quite a nice ability. So I played my turn here. I moved, I gathered, I played, and so we're all good there. Let's let automa take a turn. And so they're not progressing this time. They do have at least one glory. So the blue mech is going to go ahead and take its first map token, tiles, tokens in the north. So we're going to get a look at our first location in the north, and it is another glory opportunity. Now this is the one that has some, it's not even fair to call it a misprint according to Jamie. So I'm going to bring that up. All of the tiles in the north have an 8+ corruption, but as you can see, this one actually shows 5+ corruption. And so you have two options, and it's going to be a table by table choice. You can either let this be a cheap token or a cheap tile in terms of what's written on the token or what's written on the tile. We're going to go ahead and we could just stop at 5+, but I'm going to go ahead and play it like intended, which this would have played like intended anyway. And I'm going to play that as an 8+. That's how I'm going to play it at my table. That was the intention, and that's just what I'm going to do. One thing I did notice too about the north tiles, if you look in the south here, and it's probably going to be hard to tell in my playthrough, but your options are whatever this benefit is or what's under the corruption. Whatever the benefit is or what's under the corruption. It's an either or. In the north, it's both. You clear it and you get the full benefit of that location. There's no or locations. It's not one bonus or another. Let's see here. So the blue one, it went ahead and collected its map token. It does not have 5 glory yet, so the black one is just going to move 1 to the left. However, I'm there, so it's teleporting right through me to right there with its 1 movement. Again, it's going to treat me like I don't even exist. It's pretty rough. Now it's my turn here, and move, play, gather. What do I want to do? I would like to start knocking down some corruption because that's going to be worth a lot to the automa. And when I'm playing the automa, I'm thinking about playing spoiler for it as opposed to like, let me see how I can best play my game. We'll see how that works out. But I'm going to go ahead and do we're going to do a play and gather. And I'm going to gather first. I'm going to take my 2 power. So I got 3 power now. And then I'm going to play Matthew. And that is good for a power. And I am going to use my green worker to gain another yellow worker. I don't necessarily have any other yellow cards that can use it just yet, but I also don't have a quest to solve at this location. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Another thing that, as it relates to the workers, and Carol, you may have encountered this, or this one might be new to you too. There is a card, a purple card, that the corruption, you can actually corrupt your other workers and convert any other color worker to a purple worker, which is a corrupted worker. And I just think thematically that's really kind of cool. You can turn all your little mechs purple, if you're all your little workers purple if you wanted to. But I don't want to do that. So that was my play and my gather, and now we are back to the automa. And this card, it does progress on its track, and it's just one away from 2 victory stars, which means, or 2 boast stars, which means I would typically like to have 1 myself at this point, since it needs 8 and I need 4. But I'm going to go ahead and just, roll with the punches here. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I guess the automa is going to go ahead. There's no sweep options here. So we're going to go ahead, and they don't have 5 boast yet, so they're not clearing any corruption. The blue worker, the blue mech, is going to move 2 to the right. And I just bumped that. Another thing when I play solo is I usually have the board pressed right up against the rail of my table, because it's a little bit of a reach. I just thought this might work a little better for the showing here. So the blue worker moved, the blue mech moved 2 to the right, and the black mech here, their icon says 0. If they have 0 glory or more, then they're going to collect a map token. And so their movement is 0 to 3. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3. None of these actually have a map token. So because it cannot benefit from that option there, it's going to go ahead and do the bottom action. And so it's just going to move 2 to the left in this card's case. It's going to hang out there. Didn't hurt me this time. So that's good. I like that. All right. So I am going to... Let's see. I'm going to move and gather. I have a green card and a red card, so I'm going to try and get some workers for it. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and grab a green worker, because that will give me... Actually, both of these give me a vanquish action. So let's see. Do I want... I don't have any meteors, so this one just says vanquish. As you do, you may discard up to 3 cards, gaining their core value. That's pretty nice, except for the discard. Discard, I think, is removing it from the game. I don't think it's moving it, or maybe into the sweep pile. Carol, if you happen to know, let me know. Hey, Stuart. Oh, you haven't missed anything but me rambling. So welcome. 9:30 a.m. Saturday morning in Australia. Wow, that just got blurry, didn't it? What the heck happened there? I don't know if the bandwidth got bad or what, but yeah, what the heck? That looks awful. Wonder if I can get its attention and get it to focus again. Here, let's look at something. I don't know why that's so blurry. Yeah, I don't know. Carol, the question was, I have a card here that says, when I vanquish, as I do, you may discard up to 3 cards, gaining their core values. So does that mean that that I discard them from my hand entirely? I am really sorry about how bad that looks. I will try a few things before I move on to try and get that focus to adjust to this table. Well, if it's not going to catch focus... Well, maybe I shouldn't have been lifting cards and showing them off along the way. Where'd I pick this up from? Well, let's see. Discard goes to your active row. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Although there is supposedly a trash object to it. The rulebook says if something calls for it to be trashed, then it goes into the box. So I wasn't sure. I guess trash is different than discard too, but that makes sense to just go into the active row. Man, that blurry camera is really kind of bothering me. Not sure what that's about. I don't really have any way to adjust it. I think it just doesn't see anything that it knows what to do with. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a bandwidth thing. I'm not sure. I mean, we could still walk through this a little bit. Real sorry that this looks the way it does, but I'll be doing a playthrough just filmed, not live, that'll be clear. So we have that to look forward to anyway. I guess I'll just keep playing and hanging out with you guys, and when you're all done and you've had enough of the blurry screen, then when I see everyone drop off, I'll drop off. But let's go ahead and continue playing, and I'll just continue walking through what I'm doing. And yeah, really sorry about that grainy picture. Okay, so Matthew just did his thing, got his yellow worker. I think we were walking through the mech, the automa actions. This was their last turn. So moved and gathered and oh, that's what I was going to do. So do I take a green worker, or I take a green or a red? I think I will take a red because a discard would help me out. All right, well, I'm glad the narration is making up for the video. I'll just stop looking at the video and just keep my eye on the chat because, wow. Well, lesson learned. You know, you don't know if you don't try. Okay, so that was my turn. And we are on to Automa. Their card says that they're going to progress. So they are now at 2 stars, 2 glory stars. And we'll drop that right there. Oh, well, there you go. This stream is for my Australian friends. Any of you that are seeing it blurry, sorry, check out Australia. So they went ahead and progressed. They got their 2nd star. They do not have 5 glory yet, so they're not going to be looking for that 20 tile. Not that it's revealed anyway. So they're going to go ahead and move right 2. And they're going to hang out there. And right here now we have a sweep icon for the black mech. And so before we move at all is when we process this sweep action, which is why it's before this 2nd set of options here. So I'm going to go ahead and every card that's adjacent to that black mech, which unfortunately there was a cool one, and a couple of starting quests, but that is how it goes sometimes. Those go to the discard, and we immediately replace those. And we got the actual Charter Stone meteorite and a Morph Stone meteorite and a quest for the north. Quest at location number 17. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got here. Now, we did the sweep. We got new cards there. This one says if they have 2 glory tokens, which they do, this black mech is going to take a map token. Again, its range is 0 to 3. So 0, 1, 2, there is the map token that it is going to take. And that's going to get flipped. That mech is going right there. And we got to fill it with corruption. We'll fill it to its number. It says 5 plus corruption. So there we got a 4 that can be cleared with a guile. And then a power of 4. So a couple of tokens there. And there's only one more location in the central to explore. And this guy can jump off the map and get to it. But he found his map token, so we don't even process this second part of the card, and that is it for the automa. So we are going to go ahead, and I got an option, I got a choice to make. Let's go ahead and we are going to, you know what? One thing I didn't do when I played Matthew is I didn't take, well, maybe I did take the power. I have quite a bit. That's fine. I'm going to assume I did it. And so for this one, I said I was going to move and, no, I move and gathered the last one. So I'm going to move and play. And I will move, let's go, I'm going to move 1, 2, right here. And I am going to play this card right here. And this one right here allows me, gives me the core, has the core value of 1 power. So I'm going to increase my core power. And then I'm going to use, I have a red worker, so I'm going to go ahead and use that when I played it. And that's going to allow me to vanquish. And then as I vanquish, you may discard up to 3 cards and gain their core value. So I'm going to vanquish. I only have enough power to take care of the top one. So I'm going to pay the 1, 2, 3 power. And I'm going to take this token for myself. And that just goes on my mat. And those are worth 2 coins each at the end of the game. And then the rest of this action was discard up to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this 1 to my active row. Go ahead and gain the core value, which is a guile. And that completes my turn. Let's go ahead and see what the automa is going to do. The automa is very easy to run. I think as the automa factory has progressed and made more and more automa, they've really learned what works well. This is just dead simple too. So we're going to progress along their chart there. And then there's no sweep icons on this card. So they do have 2 glory tokens. And so this blue mech is going to go ahead and collect its second map token. They all, the automa gets to share it. So they're at 4. And that's going to flip over. Ooh, look at that. We found Tarkovsky's lair, or the automa did anyway. And that 20 value corruption token goes right there. And that map tile went to them. The next one says, for the black mech, it says if they have 3 glory, clear a corruption. And there's going to be a multiplier there. It's 1, 2, or 3. Just tell you how many tiles that you're taking off that location. However, they don't have 3 glory just yet, so this mech is on the move. So it's going to use its portal, come over to this side for 1, 2 movement, and it's going to hang out there. And that was the whole of the automa's turn on that one. Now, because I'm fresh out of cards to play, I'm going to go ahead and take a refresh turn. So all of my little workers are going to come back to my mech mat. And I'm going to pick these cards up, move it back into my hand. And I'm feeling a little bit nervous about how many stars the automa has and me having none, even though it's neck and neck. So I think I'm gonna hang around after I'm gonna try and get a few more map type tokens so I can compete with them for that. And then I'm gonna get some cards. I want to try and get some glory on the board. But that was my turn, was my refresh turn. And so, Stuart, do you have to vanquish corruption tiles in the order they've been placed? Top tile first, followed by second and third. And that answer is yes. They're stacked intentionally. Now, at any time, you can lift it and check the values, but the rules do state that they have to be cleared in order. But if I had enough power in Guile for whatever location I was at, if I take a vanquish action, I can clear as many as I want to. So if I had, 10 and I wanted to take, both these 5s off to make a 10, that's totally fine. If I can afford it, I can remove as much corruption as I want to. So that so we went ahead and processed that turn right there. Um, what did I do here? That was the last turn. Okay. So I went ahead and I think I flipped that card and didn't do anything with it yet. So that's going to move down here. And they do not have 3 glory yet. So they're going to go ahead and take this first action, which is just moving 1 to the right. And then there's no other iconography here at all. This is just a movement turn for the automa, the black mech. So we're going to go 1, and it ignores me entirely. 2, 3. And then that is the automa's action. And now I get the full turn to move, play, and gather. So let's see here. I am going to move 1, 2, 3, and get another map token for myself to explore this last central area tile. We just revealed the warehouse, and the abilities on the warehouse, I have one that's hidden by corruption, and that's to meld a meteorite. But the little icon on it says that you can take an adjacent face-up card, which for all intents and purposes means you only have the option of that one. That one's a little bit more fun when it's over here and you have the option of 3, but that's all right. So this one has to be a corruption value of 5+. We got a 3 power and a 3 power, so that's all squared away there. So that was my move. My I'm going to hold on to my gather because I don't... Well, let's see here. I've never really gone heavy on meteorites. I've done all right with them, but do I want to take that card? I think I'm going to take my time, take a chance, and see what I get here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Caesar. And I could... No, I don't have enough to clear any corruption. So when I play Caesar, I get the core value of the card, which is 1 guile. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my yellow worker on Caesar because he's a yellow card, and you can tell by the worker that's on the card. And so I'm going to move to an adjacent location since I'm not going to vanquish there. And I'm going to move up to take another map tile or token. And that brings me to 6. I need 1 more and I can boast. And then I'll quit focusing on those map tokens so much. This location right here, 15, is the Ancient Temple. And that's worth 2 coins if I wanted to gather there. And you know I'm going to. My first pull out of the bag is a 4 guile. The second one is a 5 guile. So that is 9. That's definitely the 8+. And I'm going to go ahead and gather there. So I'm going to take 2 coins, which puts me in the lead of the automa at the moment. And there's my 2 coins. You're just stacking all kinds of stuff on your mat. It's awesome. So I did my move. I did my play. I did my gather. And that was my turn. So let's go ahead and play Automa's turn. It is progressing again because I got this blue cube on here. This says if it's a 6 glory, go for that 20. And it does not have 6, thankfully. And it is going to go ahead and instead move 3 to the right. And now the black mech does have a sweep, and we're going to do that before we do anything. So these 2 that are adjacent to the black mech get swept up. They go away, and we have the Cipher Stone, which is a meteorite that it's a blue card, and it says discard a card to activate its ability. And there's an ability if you have 2 meteorites melded that gain the previous card's core value. So in that row there. This here is the map stone. We got a lot of meteorites on the board. Actually, we have entirely meteorites on the board. And this one is a green card. And it says gain a map from the general supply. So that would be a way for me if the automa took all the map tokens. Then, you know, I have it. All right, Carol, thanks for visiting. Yeah, go help the kids. Thank you so much. All right, Garrett, you got Final Fantasy, what is that, 16? Roman numerals, man. 16 is calling to me, so I may be stepping away soon. I understand. I get it. All right, so went ahead and, we played that right there. We swept these, rather. And so the first move that this black mech has is if you have one glory star, you may gain a map token. However, this black mech only moves through the central. There are no more map tiles or tokens for it to take. So it says, or if you can't do that, then go ahead and just move one to the left. So it is occupying that spot now, blocking me from it. And yeah, you know what, Stuart, I agree that I really like the sweep option in this too, because it does two things. It does, if I'm just playing by myself and I'm playing against the mech, those cards are not going to move very much, most likely. Occasionally, but not much. However, this kind of duplicates the fact that there may be a card out there that I really want, and the mech can play, or the automa can play spoiler to me, and it swept those two cards. If one of those I wanted, very much just like a player at the board that's messing with my plan. So you can't just go in with a plan, even with the hidden tiles. You can't go into it with a plan because automa's going to do its thing, and sometimes that is ruin your game. So let's go ahead and I have 6 tokens. I can go ahead and get one more before I start working on a few other things. So I'm going to go here and move there, take that. So now I have 7 map tokens, which is a boast category. However, we don't have any open boast places on the board. They're covered by corruption. So we have to clear that corruption if we want to brag about what we've done in how much we've explored. So the first one I've taken off of here is a 3, and this has to be an 8+ corruption when we reveal it, and a 4, so we're at 7. We're gonna have to draw one more, and it's another power, and it's a 4. So that one is loaded with corruption. And so it was a move and a gather, and I should have gathered before I left, but this option here is for an adjacent card, and that one's really only the aid stone, so I'm going to go ahead and take that and put that into my active row. When you collect a card this way and a card goes into your active row, you don't get any benefit for it. You don't get the core value. It's once it comes back into your hand. Although there are some cards that will give, if you have an item melded, there's a card that will, when you play a card to your active row, like if you collect it and put it in your active row, that you can put a worker on it immediately. So there are different little rule breakers that, just provide you a little benefit that's kind of cool to have. So your mech can be very unique from the person next to you, even with the pre-designed nature of it. The attachments, the meteorites really, kind of change things up. So time for me to let the automa do its thing, and so it's progressing again. It's getting closer to that 3rd star, and the blue mech is going to go ahead and sweep. So it's taking these 2, cleaning those out. We have a quest for the south, and we have a quest for the central, and yeah, so a couple of different options there. The quest is, this new quest is actually in the 1 spot, so over here, and that one has the south quests have low cost. So if I was to complete the quest there, it only cost me a power, and you could tell that this row right there. And then this one is a quest for the central, a little bit more power required, and a little bit more risk, a little bit more reward. So that was the sweep for that blue mech, and it says if they have 3 glory, then go ahead and look for a map token, but they don't have 3 glory just yet. Next turn they will, and I can tell because of this card over here tells me what they're working with, and you can see what they have so far at a glance right here. But we're just going to move this 3 to the right. And again, it ignores me entirely. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3. It's going to stop right there. This one for the black mech, it says if it has 4 glory, vanquish some tiles. It doesn't. So instead, it is going to move 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And that is the automa's turn. Now I'll show you, the automa's out of cards now, and I'll show you what happens when that happens here in just a minute. And so for my turn, I am going to, let's see here. Do we have any? I have 4 guile, so I want to get my power up to 3 so I can come here and reveal this last, or clear that corruption there to have a glory opportunity, because that's going to make my other cards more powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and do a move in play, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So that the next turn I'm just going to start with a gather, is what I'm thinking. That plan may change because, actually it may, because I have a card here that, I have 2 cards here that when I play them, we'll play the one that's going to get, what location is this? That's a 7. I do have a quest card that if I go to the 6th location, which is right here, I could go here and complete a quest and gain a card. However, that then takes this card out of my hand and I can't use these abilities. So you got to kind of make up mind up when you decide to play a card, because you lose its functionality. At least as a play. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to keep my options open, because even if I have this quest over here in my active row, I can still solve the quest. It's any card into my control, and cards in my active row and cards in my hand are considered under my control. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, gain the core value, which is the power. So now I have 3 power, which is enough to clear that fishing village. It might actually be, well, there's a card right there that actually corresponds with the fishing village, so it'd be nice if I had it in my hand. I could take advantage of both, but I don't. So let's not dwell on it. So I moved here. I'm going to play a card. I played this card right here, gain the power. The option is to vanquish, and I don't have 5 power, so I can't vanquish even if I wanted to. If I had played this a little different and played this card instead, I would go ahead and get a guile, and then I would have been able to, and then it would have worked out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You always see the moves that you could have made one turn late, right? So I got that power. That's the end of my turn. I moved and I played, and so now when the automa, when it's out of cards that it can be played, you just go ahead and you gather the 2 that are used for secret information, and you just give them a shuffle again. And however you want to do that, I'm not terribly picky, because there's no way I'm going to remember what cards. But then I just usually just like kind of to make sure that I don't, I guess, have any clue, I'll just randomly take the 2 out. That's your secret information that we don't know. And we'll go ahead and play the automa's turn. And it progresses. It gets its 3rd glory star. And now I'm behind. At this point, I feel like I'm behind. But that is just fine for our purposes. Stuart, you're heading out for the day trip. Thanks so much for checking out the playthrough. I see there's still a few other people in here checking it out, and I'll play until everyone loses their patience with it, and then I'll get a good-looking video up for you. But have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, Stuart. All right, so I went ahead and progressed that. It got its star. It does not have 6 glory yet, so it's not going to go after that 20 value token. However, it is going to move 3 to the right. Going to hang out there. This black mech right here is going to sweep, and it's actually going to sweep all 3 of these because they're adjacent. So that fishing village one that would have been good It's gone. It took it. You're welcome. Take care, Stuart. All right. We got a item. We have a quest. This item right here, it says when you move through an opponent's location, I think technically I'm supposed to remove this because we, whatever, but I'm just going to leave it in. Whenever you move through an opponent's location, that player gains a guile and you gain $1. Now, I'm going to assume that it's going to sweep it away, so I don't even have to worry about it. So I won't. This quest that went in is for the 10 location, which is right here. And it says, I'm basically placating the possessed animals. You can see the poor deer, and they're possessed. They got the tentacles. I really like that the art on the cards for the quest correspond with the locations. So in the 10 location, it says weird forest, and you can see a bunch of bare trees, and then there's a literal bear that's got tentacles growing out of its head, and it's just crazy. However, this placate possessed animals is also for this location, the quest is, and you see those same bare trees, this purple sky, and the tentacles growing out of those animals. So definitely something going on in the weird forest, and one of your options of that quest is to remove it. That's a blue card, by the way, that has the ability to pay a guile to gain 2 power. So that's a nice card. We also added the Cull Stone, which is a meteorite. This is a purple card because it uses purple workers, and that allows you to vanquish. And if you have 2 meteorites already melded, you can gain a power per 5 value corruption that you vanquish. That's not that you have on your mat. That's when you do that vanquish action. If you take a 5 off, you also get a power. So that was, the automa swept, and now it says if they have a glory of 1, they're going to take a map token. There are none in its range, so it's just going to go ahead and follow the instruction on the card, which is 1 to the left. Now, what stinks is this is another example of the automa doing something I don't want it to do, because I wanted to come to this location, clear the corruption, and then boast about it because I have 7 map tokens, which is one of the boast categories. Not going to be able to do it this turn because the automa is blocking me. So thanks for nothing, automa, I guess, is the takeaway here. So my plan has changed a little bit, and I am going to here's what I'm going to do to make the most of it. I'm going to go ahead and play and gather. So I'm going to gather my 2 power. And I'm going to play my Bravestone here. And the Bravestone gives me 1 guile. And there's a green, it's a green card. So it says if I use a green worker, and I have a green worker, I'm going to go ahead and play it on this card, and it says Vanquish. And it also has an ability for 2 corruption. Or I'm sorry, if I have 2 meteors melted, then I can gain a power per the 4 corruption that I clear. However, I don't have 2 meteorites melted. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear a little bit of corruption from this location. And I'm going to take that 5 tile, and it's going to cost me 5 guile. And that's going to be all of my guile. That slides down to the bottom there. But those tokens are worth coins at the end of the game. So let's go ahead and see what the automa is going to do next. We played and we gathered. So not going to progress this turn. However, the blue mech is going to sweep. So these 2 cards are adjacent to it. Those are going to go away. I have a feeling I took too many cards last time. When the blue swept it, if the blue swept, it shouldn't have taken a card there, and I think I did. So this is an item card, the Dark Prophet Staff. If you have, what's kind of cool about this card, it says once per turn, if you gain a card to your active row, you may place a worker on it to activate its ability. So that was one of the cards I was talking about earlier in the stream that would let you use your workers when they go to your active row. And then we have a quest for the north there that says Study meteorites on the village outskirts, location 16, which is right there in the center. And you can see the explorers with their flare and the Aurora Borealis, and you can see it on the card too. So that just ties into how the art on the cards goes with the locations of the quest art, and I like that attention to detail. This is a purple card that has the ability, it says activate the ability of any face-up meteorite. So that's also cool too, because if there's meteorites here, and there's actually 3 on the board right now, if I had that card in my hand and I played it and I put the purple worker down, I can use one of those abilities without it actually being in my hand. So that's a pretty cool power. And so let's see here. That one, I just took care of that. Okay, so we did the sweep. This blue mech, it says if you have 4 glory, then take a map token. It does not have 4 glory just yet, so it's going to move 2 to the right. It's going to hang out there. And the black mech, it does have 3 glory, so it is going to clear its own corruption from this location, which means, guess what? It's not leaving. So the automa has their first corruption. Now that glory is available to me. However, I can't get there. So it's another turn where the automa is spoiled me a little bit on my plan. So I think I need to start working on another plan. And so my next option, I'm going to move and gather. I'm just trying to decide if I want to gather power or if I want to, I think I'm going to start working on one of the glory categories is cards, and cards let you extend your turns. So I think what I'm going to do is go, I kind of liked the card. Let's see here. I like that quest card. So because I like the option that I can, I guess I'm going to need a purple worker, but I could activate the ability of any face-up meteorite. And if I have several out, that's not bad. And I do know where that 16 quest is. So I think I might go, if I go, I think, move and gather. All right, I'll go here and I'll take that card. And that goes to my active row. I'm just going to set this here. I'm going to be sweeping here in just a minute. And that card gets replaced with that. So that was my move and gather. And we're back to the automa. And we are going to go ahead and progress this blue token again, because that's what the card says. And the blue mech is going to sweep. So I guess it's a good thing I took that card when I did, because this gear stone is going away already. And it is being replaced by the ether stone that says gain 1 face-up meteorite to your hand. So that's another way to gain cards without actually, without actually having to go to a location that would give you one. So many different ways. There's people that are concerned people can block me. We've seen the mech block me for 2 turns now, and you just pivot. There are other cards. There actually are cards too that would say will allow you to boast. So that's a cool, nice thing going on there, option, I guess. And so we progressed there. We did the sweep. It says this blue mech, if you have 3 glory, and they do, it's going to take a map token. So their range is 0 to 3. So this is going to be 1, 2, and they are going to take a map token. That goes to their supply there. Flip that open or over. We got the observatory with 14, and this is an 8+ corruption, so there is a 5. And a 4, so that's 9. So we got what we need there. And you can see that tile. That's another place you can get map tokens, and those are from the supply. So those don't run out. You can gather map tokens at will. There is a mech that actually lets you cash in the map tokens. So that's a nice little corollary between that location or those map tokens and one of the mechs. So that was the blue mech's turn. The black mech, it says if you have 4 glory, which they don't, instead they're going to move 3 to the left. 2, 3. They're hanging out in the weird forest, so they opened that spot up for me. However, I can't move and gather this turn. I could... Let's go ahead and gather and play, or move and play. So we'll move 1, 2, 3. That's just to make sure that I can take it on my next turn. And so I'm going to go ahead and play Matthew, and I'm going to play just for the power. And I don't have a green worker to be able to take advantage of his ability, which is fine. But that was my turn. We're back to the automa. No progress on their track this time. And this blue mech, they do have 1 glory, so it's going to move and take a map token. Move here, take this map token for itself, flip this over. We have another place to get glory, so that's nice, although it's going to be covered with corruption here in just a moment. So that is a 4. And we need 8 plus. So that's a 3, so we're still not there. And a 5. That's a rough one to toss right on the top there. But it is what it is. Now, the black mech, the card says if they have 5 glory, then take 2 corruption tokens. They don't have 5 glory just yet, so they're just moving 1 to the left, taking that spot right there. That's their turn. On my turn, I'm going to go ahead and move and gather. But I'm going to go ahead and gather first. And in this location in the central, I have a choice. I can take the Guile and Power or the Glory. So in this case, I'm going to take the Glory because I want to start making these cards mean more. So I'm going to go ahead and place a Glory Star there at 5. What the heck? Okay, I'm telling you, I'm out of it. I have 7. I don't need 7. I only needed 5. This is where Carol, if she was still here, she could have told me I was being a clown, but that's okay. I only needed 5. I went for 7. I guess I kept that from the automa. However, it would have been better if I just stopped at 5 because the map tokens are only worth 1 coin at this level, and the corruption tokens are worth 2, and the glory stars are worth 4. So I could have been focusing on something better, but I'm a little distracted doing both of these things. Let's go ahead and that was, so they did the one to the right. Yep, so they're done. For my turn, well, I just did the glory, and now I can move. All right, so I'm going to move. Let's see here, I got 4, 5, 6. I'm going to try and get 2 more cards to go ahead and give myself another condition. So I'm going to set myself right here, another glory card, or glory star position. We've reached the end of my brain right now. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. So I moved there. We're to the automa's turn. They are going to progress. They don't have 4 yet, so they're just going to move the blue 1 to the right. And for the black mech, it says for 0 glory, they're going to take a map token, but there are no more map tokens in the central, so they're just going to hang out where they're going to ignore that and just do their movement, which is 3. 1, 2, 3, and they're blocking that glory again. Lucky I don't need it just yet. So for my turn, that's their turn. I'm going to take a refresh turn. I'm going to move my workers back to my mat. My little map tokens, these are not worth anything anymore. But, so I'm just going to stack these right here for whatever reason. These leave my active row and go back into my hand. And I'm not going to be terribly neat with it because I don't have a whole lot of room to work with here. yeah, so that is my refresh turn. We're back to the automa. Automa is making some progress again. It does not have 5 glory stars yet, so the blue is going to move 2 to the right. And the black mech is going to sweep. So it is going to sweep. This is the black mech. It's going to take these 3 cards and get rid of them. Those go to the sweep pile. And we have a new item, which is the exosuit. A new quest, which is the Raise a Corrupted Building at the 9 location. And number 16 is save a captive from a dark ritual in the north in the 16 tile. So we have a location up there to clear a captive. And so again, I talked about the art matching. We've seen this 16 card before right here. So there's 2 quests for each location tile. And again, we see the Aurora Borealis, and even on this rescue a captive from a dark ritual, you see the Aurora Borealis, that purple, blue, and you know, some of the, looks like it could be some of the same people that are in that image. Now there's a dark ritual going on. So again, just love how the art and the quests tie together, and it's really like a cohesive kind of look here. So for the example here, so this one is a quest for the 9 tile, and that's in the center region. And here, this says warehouse, so we're actually inside a warehouse in this tile. However, this is raise a corrupted building, so you're burning the corrupted building to the ground. So you can see looks like there's a meteorite in this one, but there's probably some corruption in one of those warehouses. You're going to burn it to the ground with that quest card right there. So now it's my turn because we processed the, or actually we got to finish the turn right there. So we swept those cards for the black one, for the black mech, and there's 2 glory. Again, they can't do anything, so they're just going to move 3 to the right, which, yep, that's what they had last time too. So 1, 2, 3, they got out of my way, and now I have the option to do all of these, and because let's see here, I'm looking at the item. If I attach that to my mech, once per turn, if you rescue another card, either gain its core value or activate its ability. That's a nice ability. Another thing about the item cards is that's another way for you to make money. Since, you know, I've been playing for a while now, I've only got 2 coins. Those item cards get attached onto your mech, and they have a coin value. For at the end of the game, this card will be worth 3 coins. So the thing I'm questioning is whether I gather and take one of these face-up cards, or I really don't have a card to rescue, so I might as well just go ahead and choose from my any face-up card. That one would gain 1 face-up meteorite to your hand if you had a purple worker. I do have a red worker, rescue another card. If it had a worker on it, gain both. That's kind of cool. Vanquished, and after each corruption, you also gain. That's also a nice bonus. I'm going to go ahead and I have I have 2 quest cards. I'm going to go ahead and pick up another just because. So I'll go ahead and take this one because I like its ability, which will let me gain some power, and when I gain a card, it goes over here to my active row. So that's what I got from my gather. Recover a stolen map, and so that would be another way. This one costs 3 power, but I would gain a map token if I still needed one, and a coin. So that's another way to gain the resources that maybe someone could block from you. Let's see here. I am going to, let's go ahead and, I don't have that corruption to clear. I have 6. Move and play. So I could definitely take 1 from there, and that would have the ability to attach things to my mech. But let's go ahead, and so I did my play already and got the bonus there. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. You know what? I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna go ahead and take 1, 2 power right there, and then I'm going to. That's my turn. I played, I moved, I gathered. I'm gonna go ahead and clear that corruption. The next one with Caesar. That's the plan right now. Let's see with the automa if it's gonna change my plan. It has moved up, so now it's got 4 glory stars. Again, the automa has to get to 8 glory stars to trigger the end game. So we're at the halfway point in terms of the automa's progress, and I am not at halfway. So I feel like the automa's doing a little bit better job than me right now, but that's all right. So it progressed there. It does say that the blue mech, if it has 3 glory stars, and if it does, it's going to clear 1 corruption. So it's going to clear a corruption right here, which does help me. However, it helps it too, because each one of those is worth 2 coins. So it's at 4 coins just in those right there, and beating me. So that's what the blue one's going to do, is taking that 1 corruption token. The black mech is just moving. It's just on the move. It's going to ignore me. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's going to block me from getting glory if I wanted to at that location. And now it is my turn. I am going to... I'm going to hang out here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a play and gather. And I'm going to play Caesar. And what Caesar lets me do is I gain the core value of the card, which is a guile. However, I do have a glory star now, which also gives me a power. And I am going to now trigger his ability to, I'm going to use my yellow worker, and it says I can move to an adjacent location or vanquish. And if I remove the final corruption from that location, I may gain the revealed benefit, which is melding a meteorite. So I'm going to pay 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take this, which is worth some stuff for me at the end of the game, 2 each. And now we have this meteorite option. And now I have the ability to meld a meteorite for free. Now what this does do is I was, kind of close to the 8 cards. I have a decision to make. Do I meld a meteorite and gain the ability, or what? So let's see here. This meteorite, the aid stone, if I meld this, then I gain 1 coin per orange corruption, and I got 2. Or this one, I gain 1 coin per 4 value corruption, and I have, it says 4 specifically, it doesn't say 4 or greater, so that would only be worth 1 coin. So in terms of abilities, this one's a little bit better, but I don't really have the 2 meteorites melded, so I'm going to go ahead and meld this one. This is no longer considered under my control, but when I melded that meteorite, it says I can gain 1 coin per orange, so I have 2 of those. I'll go ahead and take 2 coins, which I guess there's a 2 value coin right here. Oh no, that's a 3. So I'll take one of these off, put that there. And that was my play. And now I'm going to gather and get 2 power back. So that was my turn. And now the automa's turn. It does not progress. It does, however, have 3 glory stars, so it's gonna take 2 corruption. There's a little multiplier that says 2. So we have that location clear of corruption to the benefit of the automa. But now if I needed to meld a meteorite, I have two options. Now, again, if you missed it earlier, in the central, we have choices to make. It's do we gain the benefit of the location that's revealed automatically or the one that was previously covered up? You know, obviously in this one, we only have the option of the two. That's corrupted, we can't take care of it. However, in the north, there's not that slash. So in this case, it's not gain an adjacent card or meld a meteorite. It's do both. So we like those locations in the north. They're more powerful than these locations in the central area, but they have their value too. So it cleared those and stays where it's at. And again, the black mech is only on a movement, so it's going to take that one right there. So 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more cards. I need to start working on those cards because that is a boast condition. I've already started melding, but I also want to start working on quests too, because the quests are like my multiplier for how many glory stars I have. So if I have 1 quest completed, they're worth 6. If I have none, they're worth 5. If I have 2 quests completed, each one of these is worth 8. And if I have 3 or more completed, each one of those is worth 10. So ideally, to have my best chance at beating the mech, and even in a multiplayer game, to have the best chance of beating everyone, then you're going to want that at least getting those 3 quests completed. So I'm working on cards right now. So I don't have to think about it too much. So this was just my play and gather. So oh no, this is a new turn for me. So we just finished that. So I'm going to move and gather, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to take a face-up card. You know what? It doesn't matter. That one's going to make me read the cards and make the best decision. This one right here says draw 2 from the top of the deck and choose the one I want. So I'm going to do that to make it easier. I could have a quest in the starting area that would salvage an idle mech. And I also have the option of a meteorite that, that I could, this one would, the red worker, discard a card to gain its core value, or activate the ability of any face-up card. I do need some quests, and that's actually the location I'm at. So I'll go ahead and when you take a card, it goes to the active row. And you do not gain the core value. This is going to go to the sweep pile here because I did not choose it. And that was my move and gather. So we're back to the automa. And that is going to progress down here. And the blue mech is going to sweep the cards that are around it, which is just this one. And which is another quest. And so now it says if you have 3 or more glory, look for the map token, and the blue mech moves this way. So you see a map token there, but however, it's going to go 1, 2, 3. There are no map tokens in that range, so instead it's just going to move 1 to the right. And this one right here says if they have 4 stars, which they do, that black mech is going to clear 2 corruption, which now that it's regularly in the areas that it's going to get corruption, it can clear corruption, things are going to start ramping up. I'm going to start losing my opportunity to get those, which I need as a victory condition. I can also do this other stuff, but I've already started down the path of working on those. So that is a little concerning to me. On my turn, I'm going to move and play, and I'm going to move. I'll move right here. And you know what? I'm going to move right here. I'm going to move right there. And then I'm going to play... let's trying to see if there was a better movement that I could do, like that I have some options, some cards that give me the option to vanquish. I think I'll stay there though, and I'll play Matthew, and I will take a power, and because I have a glory star, I'll take a guile. And this green, if I play my green worker on him, I do still have a green card, so maybe I don't want to do that. Because I'm not solving a quest just yet. I want to use this card to get an achievement. So I'm not going to use his ability. I'm just going to collect those core values. And now I'm going to play the automa. And it looks like it's just me at this point. So let's go ahead and we'll move that along there. No, they don't have the 7 or the 7 glories, so they're not going for that. They're just moving 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And then the black mech doesn't have any map tokens to take, so it is just going to move 2 to the left and take that spot there at the weird forest. And then it is back to me. So I am going to, let's go ahead and move and gather, but I'm going to gather first. And this right here says that I can draw the top card of the deck, which I will. And that's going to go right here. So I got 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in my control. Now I am going to move, but also I have the ability to, so I gain the top card from the deck and I get to rescue a card. And what rescuing does basically takes it from the active row and puts it back into your hand. And I am hoping to be able to vanquish. So I'm going to bring Caesar back because he has going to provide me the most gains. I'll rescue Caesar. The worker goes back to my my mech mat, and let's see here. So that was my gather, and now I'm going to move right here. So on my next turn, I can brag about that and then start working on quests. So the automa is going to take their turn. That is going to move forward again. And so now the blue mech does have 2 stars, and it is going to take 1 corruption. Takes that, adds it to its massive stack of corruption. And that is that. And then the black mech is also going to clear some corruption. It's going to take 1 tile from here and drop that right there, and it's going to stay there. So that is the automa's turn, and we're back to mine. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a play and gather turn, and I'm going to go ahead and gather the boast ability. And because I have 8 cards in my control, I got 4 there, I got 4 there. Again, anything attached to my mech is not in my control. So I have that one. I'm going to go ahead and play that right there. And that is just going to help me. It's worth more at the end of the game. Right now, since I have no completed quests, these are worth 5 coins each. However, we're gonna increase that. So that was my gather, and then, or that was my play, and that was my gather. And then I'm going to play. No, what am I doing? So I don't need to vanquish anything there. So what am I going to play? Let's go ahead and play. I did not do something, but we'll go ahead and play. I'm not going to think about this too much. We'll go ahead and just get a, let's see, what is this? 4 and 5, so 9. So, I'm going to play this card to get another power. That gets me to 9. And that is my turn. It's going to be the Automa's turn. And they are going to move. They got their 5th star out. And then they have 4. So they are going to remove 3 corruption. And the location that they're at right now has corruption. It's going to take what remains. And that is going to go right there. Frees up another area to get a glory star. And it's going to stay there. And on this card, the black mech is just moving. It's moving through its portal back over here to 1, 2, and hanging out there. And let's see. I can clear the corruption at either of these places. It's going to be more expensive to do it over there. So I guess that's not nothing I can do this turn anyway. So I'll move over here just to take that spot so it can't. I'll go 1, 2, 3. I'll gather an adjacent card, an adjacent face-up card, which is just this quest. But I'm in need of some quests. So I'll just go ahead and put that here at the end. Nothing happens for that, except for I will go ahead and reveal this card, which is another quest in the 20 territory. And I will go ahead and it's my turn. Now I can go ahead and no, I just took that one. So now it's the Automa's turn. All right, so again, no perfect information. Those Automa cards are going back into the deck. Give them a little shuffle here. Hey, Tom, watching from London, England. Welcome. I am losing to the Automa, I think. But we're having fun. We're talking it through. And to maintain the fact that we still don't have perfect information, I'm just going to randomly grab 2 cards out and set that deck there. And now the Automa, they are going to progress again. And they do have 3 power. So that blue one is going to look for a place it can clear corruption. So it is going to move to this next one because that's within the range of 0 to 3. It's going to take that corruption and add it to its pile. And that is the blue mech's turn. And then this black mech, it has no other icons. It's just moving. So it's just going 1, 2, 3, hanging out there. And we are back to my turn. So for my turn, I'm going to, let's see here. That's a number 9. Do I have a 9 quest? I do not. However, that's just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a move, and we'll do a move and a play and gather. So I'm going to play Caesar, and he is going to give me a guile, and then I do have 1 glory star, so he's going to give me a power. And then I also have 2 glory stars, so he's going to give me another guile. And then I'm going to place my yellow worker on him to do a vanquish action. And so I have enough power to clear all of the corruption from this tile. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay the 6 corruption. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're back down to 4 on that one. Both of these go onto my mat, and I'm closer to my 7 boast. Now what this is going to do is this is going to allow me to meld a meteorite, which I already have 1 meteorite melded, and I only have 1 meteorite. So I really only have this one choice to get rid of this one. And this one, if I meld it, says gain 1 coin per 4 value corruption. And so let's see how many of those I got. I think I only have the 1, but we'll find out. That slips right underneath there. And a 4. 1 coin. It's good for a coin. It's better than no coins, right? All right, so that is my play, and then my gather would be to take an adjacent face-up card, and I only have the one adjacent face-up card to me, which is this quest right here. So I'm going to take it, and I'll drop that right there. I don't gain anything for it at this point. It just went to my hand, and we immediately fill this hole right here. And let's see. Cure a whale of parasites. That's a mission for this fishing village location right here. That is my turn. We'll go ahead and flip an automa card here. They are going to progress on their track there. And if they have 2 glory stars, that blue mech, and they do, is going to clear a corruption. So they get another one. And we have another location that we can boast at. So that was their turn for the blue mech. The black mech, it says if they have 2 glory, which they do, they're going to clear corruption. So they want to find a location within their range that will that's corrupted, that they can remove a tile. So the next one in their range, because this mech moves to the left, that mech moves to the right, and it's on the cards too, so you can't really forget. So we're going to move just the one because there's a corruption here, and it's going to take this one. Made it a little easier. I need to find some place that I can clear 2 more corruption. I'm running out of opportunities, but I do have one close by that I can definitely take care of the power and the guile. So that's definitely going to be what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move, and I'm going to move 1, 2, and I'm going to stay there and gather, because the gathering is going to allow me to sweep as many cards off the board as I want. And just for giggles, I'll go ahead and take all of these cards off the board except for the item, because I may want that card. Let's just go into the sweep pile, and we have a new quest for location 13, which is pillage the tower. We have a new meteorite called the greenstone, a new item called the scythe. I don't know if that's anything that you've possibly heard of before. And then we have an ether mirror, however that's pronounced, that goes into that location. So that was the sweet part of that. And now this one is a refresh my hand. So basically I get a refresh turn without the benefit of, actually getting to move my cube down here. But all of these cards come back to my hand, and just a mess of cards. But for the sake of filming, it is what it is. So that was that. Let's go ahead and take Automa's turn now. They are going to progress again. And they have a sweep option for this blue mech. So it's actually going to sweep all adjacent cards to it, which is just this one, which is the one card I decided not to sweep. It decided it would. And it's going to put the yellow stone right there. And so that was its sweep. However, if it has 3 glory, it's going to look for a map token. There is 1 map token left. It's going to move that's within range. Totally in the game anyway. That's going to come to their map here. This tile is going to get flipped over. And we got to seed that with some corruption. So 8 plus. First one is a 4. The next one is a 5. So definitely have the corruption we needed there. And now this is all the corruption that's left. I definitely need to get, I have 5 corruption right now. One of the achievements or boast categories is to have 7 corruption. So I need a place that I can gather 2. Thankfully, I am at that place. So I am going to, since I am, I'm going to go ahead and do a move and play. So I'm going to do the play action first, and I'm going to play Caesar. And Caesar is going to give me, because I have 2 glory, I get the full benefit of this base. So I'm going to get 2 guile, and I'm going to get 1 power. And then I am going to place my yellow worker at this point to vanquish corruption. And so I'm going to spend 3 power to I think I was at one, to clear this one. So that's my 6th. And then I'm going to spend 3 guile, 1, 2, 3, to clear this one. And one thing that Caesar lets me do is if I clear the final corruption, I get the benefit that I uncovered, which is I can attach an item to my mech, although I don't know that I have any items. Quest, 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 quest. You know, lots of quests, no items. So that really didn't do anything for me. But hey, it doesn't always. So then that was my play, and now I'm going to move, and I'm going to move. Yeah, I'll move here because I think I can. No, I'm not going to move there because I can't do that. So I was right here. What I'm trying to do is I want to move to a location that has a quest I complete to kind of, well, I also want to boast. But let's see here. The best place to go is probably 16, which I'll take care of too. So I'll go here. And that was my movement. That's the end of my turn because I already played. And now the automa is going to take a turn. They're going to progress. They got their 6th glory star. And again, they get 8 before the end of the game. So we're getting very close to the end of this solo playthrough. It says if they have 3 that, well, first thing they're going to do is they're going to sweep. So again, that blue mech is going to sweep the adjacent. These 2 cards are gone. So the new card is an item, which is a fusion link. And then this other one is a quest, Communicate with the Beast, which is a location 14 at the observatory. So the beast is at the observatory, and you have an option to communicate as one of the quests. And yeah, so that was the blue mech's turn, or it just did a sweep. So there are no map tokens within range. It's just going to move 3 to the right. 1, 2, uses its portal to come over to this side. And then for the black mech that does have the 4 glory, and it's going to look to clear 3 corruption. There's only the one that's in front of it, so it's going to take that and hang out in that location. Man, they have a lot of corruption cleared. So that is their turn. I am going to go ahead and play and gather. So I'm going to go ahead and play Matthew. And I am going to gain the 2 power because I have the full value and a guile. And I am going to use my green worker on him at this point to solve a quest. The green worker ability on Matthew says I can either gain a yellow worker or I can solve a quest. And if you solve, gain the core value of all your solved quests. Well, I don't have any just yet, but I will. So we're going to solve a quest. I'm at location 16, and I actually have 2 quests for 16. Let's see. It's basically a matter of, do I want to spend power or guile? Let's go ahead and we're gonna do the guile one. That's gonna the cost of the quest is located right here. So I need 3 guile to complete this quest with Matthew, which I have. 1, 2, 3, 1 left, and what that's going to give me is a face-up meteorite card. So hopefully there is one. Yes, there is. There's one. That's going to go to my active row, and I don't gain any benefit from it. And then this quest gets tucked right here, and Matthew's ability says I gain the value, the core value that's on the card, which is the power, so I get another power. Now, just for your information now, we have 1 quest completed. Our glory stars here went from being worth 5 coins to being worth 6 coins. So we are now on to the automa's turn, I think here. So I played, no, we didn't. We played. Now we're going to gather. And we are going to gain, oh, I got to put this right here because I took that off. So my option here is any face-up card. I have enough quests. I don't need more quests. I do, I'm going to take an item, and I'm going to take, whenever you gain at least 2 power during your turn, also gain a guile, or whenever you gain a worker, also gain. The Scythe and the Fusion Link are worth the same amount at the end of the game. However, in terms of like places I'm going and things I'm doing, I think this one will benefit me the most. So I'm going to take this card, and that's going to go to my active row, no benefit gained. And then I am going to, I gain that card, and I'm going to boast. And I'm going to boast about the fact that I have 7 corruption tiles here. And now I'm going to hopefully beat the automa to one of these next 4 categories, although it may trigger the end game before I do. We'll see what happens. All right, it progresses again. And it does have 4 glory, so it's going to clear a corruption. However, it won't clear the 20 unless it specifically is on the card. So it's going to go here. That's what I get for sliding it instead of picking it up. It's going to go there, and it's going to clear 1 corruption, because that's what the multiplier says. And then there's no map tokens in the central for the black mech, so that one is just going to go ahead and do its movement action, which is 1, 2, 3. And then that is its turn, so now I'm going to take mine. And I'm going to do I'm going to go ahead and, oh boy. Let's go ahead and play and get, no, play and gather is what I did last time. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and move and play. So I'm going to, let's move to another place. We have a quest just in case. Where's 16? Can I get there? I'm on 16. All right, so 20 is within range. I don't have what it takes to solve that quest though. 8 is within range. So let's go ahead and take our movement there. Boom. Boom. I don't think I have any other cards that allow me to solve. I do have some that let me vanquish, which would take coins away, but move and play. I think I will just hang around there and see if I can make something worthwhile happen. Like solving a quest or something. That was my turn anyway, and we're back to the automa. It's going to progress. It's got a 7th star. I think the automa is actually going to push the end of the game. We need to get some quests done to make our stars worth, the ones we do have, worth more. So it does have 5 glory. However, it's already past the 20, so it's not within range. So it's going to go 1, 2, and hang out there. Now the black mech is going to sweep, which these are the 2 adjacent. Those are going to go away. And there's a new item, the Rift Mask, and a new meteorite called the Fuel Stone. And the black mech here says if they have 2 glory, if they do, it's going to get a map, but there's none left, so we're just going to go to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to hang out there, and it is my turn. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and play this card. And this one says, so I gain a guile, but more importantly, it says if I play a yellow one, I can gain a guile and rescue a card. And so I'm going to rescue Matthew, who can solve quests. He's going to go back to my hand. All this stuff is going to shift if you want it to. And that was my play. And now I'm going to move, hopefully, to a location I can solve a quest. Let's go to 5. We'll go 1, 2, 3. And we'll just hang out for our next turn. Automa is going to... they actually got their 7th. So the Automa is on the very next turn. It's going to trigger the end of the game. So we moved that forward. It can't do no map tiles. It's going to move here. And then in this one right here for the black mech, it has 3. It's going to try and vanquish. Well, there's only 1, 2. There's only 1 within. So that one, it goes to their pile. And that is that. So now we're back to my turn. So now I'm going to play, Matthew. And he is going to give me 2 power and a guile. And then I'm going to place the green worker on him to solve a quest. And then that one location is 5. And that says I pay a guile and I gain a power. And then I can complete this quest. And Matthew's ability says then I gain the core value of all completed quests, which is the power and the guile here. So a power goes up, a guile goes up. And then we're on to the next. And let's see. We're on to our next. So that was my play. My gather is to take 2 cards from the deck and pick one. So a quest or a meteorite. I'm going to take the meteorite. That goes to my active row, which is technically over here. But this just goes over here into this pile. And now that is my turn. Now, I really hope I don't see a blue cube on this card. And I didn't. Ooh, we get one more turn to goof around here. So the blue mech is looking for 2 corruption tokens, which it has 1, those 2 within range. So it gets 2 more. And that's the blue mech. The black is moving through a portal over there. And they're talking about how good they're doing. For my turn here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a move and a play. And I'm going to try and get to 1, 2. So that was my move. And then I'm going to play this card right here, which gives me a power. And I can place a red worker. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. This is the one I wanted. Still gains the power. However, with the red, I get to rescue another card. And if it has a worker on it, I gain a guile and a power. So I'm going to take my quest solver, Matthew, take his worker off, move that over there into my hand, and I'm going to get 1 of each thanks to that card there. And this one's almost certainly going to have it, so that's going to probably trigger the end of the game. And it does. So the automa has its 8th star, and that means the automa gets a turn, and then I get a turn. So let's process what it did. It progressed there. It is going to if it has 5 glory, which it does, it's going to look for 2 corruption tokens within range. So that would be 1, 2. The only time it's going to go after that 20 corruption token is if it says so on the card. So in this case, it's going here, taking this 1 to its pile of so many tokens. And that is the blue mech's turn. The black mech would be looking for map tiles, but there are none left because it's fully explored. So it's just taking up space. And now my last turn. My last turn has got to be completing a quest, because that's a multiplier that will make my stars worth the very most that they can be. So I'm at the 6th location already. I'm going to play Matthew. And Matthew is going to give me 2 power, which he can't give me, and a guile. And then I'm going to use this green worker to solve a quest. And I'm going to solve this quest right here, which is going to cost me a power. And then I get to take a face down card for what that's worth. Put that right there. It's a portal orb, it's an item. And this gets tucked, and Matthew's ability says when I solve, I get the complete, which again, so that's just going to basically, I'm going to get 1 guile, 2 power, but I'm already topped off at power. So that is that. That was my last turn. The automa, they triggered it, so they technically get 1 more turn. So let's see what they do with their last turn. Basically, just a movement. And then there's no more corruption tiles for it to take, so this one just moves. And that's the end of the game. That's it. So now it's time to do scoring, which I never think about this when I sit down. I'm like, I'm going to have to keep track of what this is. So let's see here. So for the automa, which again most certainly destroyed me, they have, their maps are worth 1 coin each. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 coins for their maps. So let's give them 7. And then the corruption tokens, those corruption tokens are worth 2 each. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So if that was 19 doubled. So they have 38 coins, I'm pretty sure. Now their stars, they have all 8, and those are worth 4 each. So they get the full 32 there. And that brings them to 77, I believe. 38 plus 32 would be 70 plus 7. So they have 77 coins. And I really don't think I'm going to be able to compete with that. But let's see. For mine, I have 5 coins. So that's good for 5. And my glory is worth... so the glory, I have 3 of them out, and they're worth 10 each. That's 30. And I have no items attached, so that's 0. And then... so 35 so far to 77. It is not looking good. The corruption are worth 2 each. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14. Yeah. 49 points to 77 points. The automa thoroughly destroyed me. But, you know, it's a little hard to... Hey, Chad, my fellow Michigander. It's a little hard to focus on a stream and playing it well. And, you know, Carol warned me when we got into this that she hadn't figured out Tatanka. I really think I probably needed 1 or 2 more turns, because I could have made that, you know, that would have been worth another, you know, let's see here, those would be worth 10 instead of 8. And then if I had some items, that can make a difference. And yeah, that is a solo playthrough. I'm going to have to watch this. It's all blurry on my end, but Australia mentioned, Stuart mentioned that it was fine for him. So I'll go ahead and make this live if it doesn't look like garbage, and so you can watch it later. Otherwise, the next plan that I have is to go ahead and do a how to solo, which, you know, if you've been watching this, you probably have a pretty good idea. But I'll walk through that tutorial. And if this did end up being garbage in terms of the quality, then maybe I'll go ahead and just film another one and just post it up. So thanks so much for the hanging out with me here, Garrett. Thank you, Chad, for swinging by. We had Tom in here for a little bit. We had Stuart. We had Carol. And yeah, I appreciate you guys checking it out. Hopefully it wasn't too painful being a first time streaming, but it was a lesson learned. So all in all, even if the game was a loss, the live stream was a success, and I'm taking that W. So have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and talk to you later. Bye. Well, bye after I figure out how to end this. So, let's get a little closer to the table. And, it looks good here. Take care, all.